Welcome back to finals weekend at Flushing Meadows, and the New York fans turned up in their thousands to witness an all-American affair between two close friends, both playing in their first Grand Slam finals. Sloane Stevens, the 24-year-old Florida native, was ranked 957th in the world just 5 weeks ago after 11 months out for foot surgery. And she faced Madison Keys, the 22-year-old from Illinois, with 3 career WTA titles, aiming for her biggest ever win. Both women received warm applause from the Arthur Ashe crowds ahead of the big occasion. We joined the match with the scores at 2-all, Madison Keys on serve.
Game to really Stevens from Keys, and it's Stevens with the first break. She leads 3-2 first set. Stevens leads 3-2 first set.
Stevens then held on to that break, and we're back on commentary with Keys serving to remain in the set at 3-5.
Advantage, Stevens. Just half an hour.
By 6 games to 3.
Stevens was in control and eyeing an early break at the top of the second.
Look at this quicksilver foot speed from a woman who spent 4 months in a peg leg and a brace only this year. It's extraordinary.
I've seen videos and watched Kamau Murray work on that exact backhand when she had the injury. Step in, open stance with the backhand down the line, and boy, has she made it work for her this tournament.
13-14. First ace since opening service game of the match, which she held very comfortably.
Stevens then held to make it 5 games in a row. Keys on serve again in game 4.
Picking targets, being aggressive, stepping into the court. But the problem is when when A game isn't working, it's hard for her to have patience.
3-love down and facing break point. Keys' misery was then compounded by errors.
First double of the match spells a double break for Sloane Stevens.
Stevens leads 4-2.
There have been so many scripts that we could not have written over this fortnight, and here is another one.
Stevens was dominating, with Keys trying desperately to add some respectability to the scoreline.
Advantage Stevens.
And you could see there on that point at the very end, Keys just kind of pulled up a bit.
Yeah, but I mean, throughout Sloane Stephens' career, she's always looked nonchalant. Well, boy, has that helped her today.
Game Stevens. 7 games in a row for Stephens, and she is 1 game from the title. She leads by a set and 5 love.
5 games to love.
Keys was now at the last chance saloon with Stephens 2 points away from victory.
She has been
Advantage,
through
Stephens.
so much over the past 12 months, and it just shows you what happens when something you love is taken away from you. It is the new Sloane Stephens, and she has a 3rd championship point.
A flawless performance from Stephens, completing a comeback to save her and earning a check for $3.7 million.
I had surgery January 23rd, and someone told me then that I'd win the U.S. Open. It's impossible, I would say. It's absolutely impossible. And my journey to get here, coming back, just being able to keep it all together and have such a great team behind me, this journey's been incredible, and I honestly wouldn't change it for the world.
What a way to end that journey. Still at that time entering the tournament ranked 83, lowest ranked winner of the U.S. Open in the Open era. Lindsay, obviously you were there. That embrace at the end, one of the enduring images of the entire season. How special was that moment, seeing them come to the net? And then even after that, really the emotions between these two good friends.
Yeah, Sloane was amazing in victory, really doing such a great job of celebrating, but also consoling her friend. Obviously, Madison was disappointed with her match there. It's so tough when you get to the biggest match of your career and you don't play the way you want. You feel like you've let the crowd down and yourself. And Sloane has always been a very dear friend of Madison's, but I think it was a phenomenal image of two friends playing in a match they maybe both of them never predicted would be the case. They grew up together in the juniors, and here they were on tennis's one of its biggest stages.
Yeah, I think it started in the semifinals when we saw 4 American women in the semis, none of which were Serena, because she was having her daughter Olympia just gone through what she went through, but it was still, this feel-good story, and it was almost like, okay, whoever wins, this is going to be fantastic. But to see Sloane and Madison, who were sort of that next generation, who were watching Venus and Serena when they came up and burst onto the scene, it was just, it made that connection, I think, for everybody. Unfortunately for Madison, she couldn't play her best, maybe physically wasn't fully where she would have liked to be. That's a huge disappointment. But I was so impressed with the way Sloane handled it, how she kind of tempered it at first to console her friend, take care of the moment. But you saw how much it meant to her and how hard Sloane had worked for that moment.
Yeah, Chandler, the excitement that you talk about, seeing both of them in the final, is really what stood out to me. There are so many Americans who watch the U.S. Open that don't necessarily watch other Grand Slams. The U.S. Open, it's sort of an event that transcends the sport. So to see 2 young, upcoming, exciting athletes come up there and play in the final, both Americans, it brings even more eyeballs to the finals. And that's really what I remember. Again, you didn't have a feeling like that until before Venus and Serena came on, and then they came on, and we were kind of yearning for that for a bit. And then we had these 2 young girls in the final. It was exceptional to watch. Yes, it would have been lovely if Madison was perhaps feeling a little bit better, maybe a bit tighter of a match. But again, the embrace between the 2 at the end was really heartwarming.
Just another example of tennis is family. That sportsmanship at the end between Madison and Sloane, absolutely incredible. And for Sloane, moving up 940 ranking spots in a month and a half, simply remarkable.